official summer baseball station. Brought to you by Bud Light, with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability. The Illinois Lottery. This summer, lottery tickets get a second chance to win $35 every weekday. Visit IllinoisLottery.com for details. Have fun, play responsibly. Comcast. Catch more games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV today. By Pepsi. Every generation refreshes the world. Visit refresheverything.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
You're watching the Chicago Cubs on WGN-TV, your official summer baseball station. Chicago Cubs baseball in beautiful high definition is sponsored by Comcast. This game is not on your pocket schedule. It's a makeup of a rainout back on May 15th. And the Astros still will come to Wrigley Field one more time. The Cubs will not return to Houston, where they went 5-3. They are 3-2 against the Astros here, 8-5 overall. Let's look at the Astros starting lineup. Tuesday night, 11 runs, 17 hits. Yesterday, no runs, 6 hits. Bourne, Matsui, Tejada. Lee, Blum at first, Henson right. And then at the bottom, you have Keppinger, Quintero, and Ortiz.
Let's take a look at the Cubs Pepsi defense. Brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, refresh everything. Soriano, Fukudome, Bradley across the outfield today. Jake Fox filling in for Aramis Ramirez at third base. Ryan Terrio at short. Mike Fontenot at second. D. Lee, Derek Lee over at first base. Let's see who's catching. Oh, yeah. Coy Hill behind the plate once again today, and he'll be catching pitches from right-hander Kevin Hart.
You had me fooled. I was going to help you out. It's only Coy's 20th consecutive start. The umpires, C.B. Buckner back of the plate. Mike Everett at first, Brian Gorman at second, and Jerry Davis, the crew chief, at third. So every one of the members of the staff working the plate in this 4-game series. Well, not only are the Cubs just a half game back in their division, the wild card's pretty tight as well. And the Cubs are going to play these teams coming up in the second half. They won't see the Giants for a while, but they will play 4 big ones in Colorado on this next trip. And the Cubs right now are in third, and they'll also see the Florida Marlins, only a game ahead of them in that wild card race. You can kind of break that out about 2 months before the end of the season, and we're just about at that point as the Cubs play their 100th game of the season. The Giants, by the way, yesterday beat the Pirates 1-0 in 10 innings. Matt Cain, 9 shutout innings, and he got a no decision. How about that?
He's been throwing the ball extremely well for the Giants lately. A big series coming up after today. The Phillies and the Giants, the 2 most active teams in the National League, at least up to this point. A lot of movement on those 2 ball clubs.
And that's shutting out the Rockies 7-0 late. First of a day-night doubleheader in New York. Keep you posted on all the other action as Kevin Hart takes his final warm-up tosses. The lights are on. It is overcast. We haven't heard about any sort of imminent rain in the area, but as always, conditions can change quickly. Very comfortable temperature-wise.
I mentioned briefly, Len, that this could possibly be a real good matchup once again for Kevin Hart, the Reds team that he faced last time out when he went 6 innings, gave up only 5 hits and 1 walk, 1 earned run. A very aggressive swinging ball club. Don't take a lot of base on balls, and the same can be said for this Houston Astros ball club. Only the San Francisco Giants and the Pittsburgh Pirates have drawn fewer walks in the National League this year than the Houston Astros.
Before we get started, one of the trades we didn't see before we got off the air yesterday, but after Jack Wilson was traded to Seattle, Freddie Sanchez got dealt to the Giants, so that'll help their offense.
Yeah, you would think so. The Giants have kind of struggled offensively all year long. Real strong starting pitching, but the Giants get Freddie Sanchez for pitcher Tim Alderson, and figures to be in the lineup tonight for the Giants.
We already have him in that Giants uniform.
It was very convenient with the Pirates playing in San Francisco. I heard a report that said that Sanchez wasn't going to leave even if the trade wasn't finalized. He was going to stay on the West Coast until the deadline expired before he either joined his former team, the Pirates, or went to his new team.
We're underway 1-0 on Michael Bourne, who's gone 5 for 12 in the series. I think the last 2 days tell you a lot about momentum or lack thereof in baseball, as the Astros had a huge offensive night Tuesday and didn't do anything yesterday. Welcome to Wrigley Field. I don't think many offenses would have done much against Randy Wells yesterday. He was outstanding. Wind blowing out at 6 miles an hour, 74 degrees. I think all in all, weather-wise, this has been one of the best homestands we've ever had here.
Very comfortable for late July at Wrigley Field. Usually the humidity and the temperature are both in the 90s, but it was an extremely comfortable homestand, especially if you win one more.
Bourne did not like that strike 2 call by C.B. Buckner. It's a big swing pitch in the at-bat. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2. And Hart's pitch. He was lifted in the air to left. No problem for Soriano. 1 out.
That's a good thing. Anytime you can get Michael Bourne to hit the ball in the air to the opposite field, you've got a real good chance to retire him.
Kaz Matsui, the second baseman, kind of lost in the shuffle. Yesterday he went 3 for 3. They were all singles, and he never did get past first base. He is now 14 hits away from 2,000 in his entire career in terms of games in Japan and here in the major leagues. 0-1 the count on Matsui. I got a little less sleep than I had planned on last night because I could not turn off the Dodger-Cardinal game. It was a dandy. The Dodgers had a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the ninth with Jonathan Broxton, who throws about 150 miles an hour, on the mound, 2 outs, nobody on, and he got beaten on a couple of sliders in that inning. Ryan Ludwig kept the inning alive. Then a key wild pitch got him to second, and Colby Rasmus shattered his bat on a single to knock in Ludwig. In extras, the Dodgers took the lead. The Cardinals came back, and then in the 15th, Albert Pujols won it on a game-ending single. So they have a chance to sweep a 4-game series against the Dodgers tonight. Hart will flip and get Matsui 2 outs. It's still early enough where that game might get lost in the shuffle, but it could loom very large later in the year. That was a game I think a lot of people thought it was over. The Dodgers were going to win it.
Nice play by Kevin Hart, bouncing off the mound, getting himself a good hop, and the shovel toss on to D. Lee to retire the speedy Matsui at first base.
Well, it's going to be a different Cardinals offense the next time the Cubs play them. Because remember, Mark DeRosa was on the DL when they were here. But they go DeRosa, Pujols, Holiday, Ludwig in the middle of their lineup. Pretty good. One and 0 on Tejada. 5 hits, 5 RBIs in the series. 5 RBIs came in 1 game.
I want to give a shout out to the Peoria Chiefs. Len, they're in Dayton, Ohio today and have a game tonight. I know a lot of them are probably watching the ball game today. They were behind 6-0 against Dayton last night in the first inning, down 7-3 in the 8th, and came back to score 10 runs in the top of the 9th to win the ball game 13-7.
Tapper foul. Michael Brenly 3 for 5. Junior Lake 3 for 4 as they came back to win. One of the Cubs' top prospects, Darwin Barney, AAA Iowa, is hitting 5 of 6. Andrew Kashner, one of their top pitching prospects. Continues his fine season at Double-A. Got his first win at Tennessee. Aaron Miles on the rehab assignment with Iowa, 3 for 4. He's hitting .254 in 16 games in Iowa. One, two. Fly ball center field. Fukudome back, makes a catch, and that's the inning. Kevin Hart off to a good start. Going 1, 2, 3. Cubs coming up. Pepsi, refresh everything. Fukudome, Terrio, Lee, 1 through 3. Fox, Bradley with good numbers against Russ Ortiz, and Soriano in left. Mike Fontenot in a slump. He's 1 for his last 21. Hill and Hart make up the battery.
Take a look at the Astros defensively. El Caballo, Carlos Lee, reunited with his fans out there in left field. Had an inning at first base in the ball game yesterday. I'm sure they missed him. Michael Bourne and Hunter Pence round out the outfield. Keppinger, Tejada, Matsui, and Blum across the infield. Humberto Quintero behind the plate today. He'll be receiving pitches from veteran right-hander Russ Ortiz.
35 years old. Early in the year, bounced around between the rotation and the bullpen. His last win was in relief on June 2nd. 1 strike on Kosuke Fukudome. Since returning to the rotation against the Cubs on June 11th, he's 0-3 with a .544, covering 8 starts. And in July, 4 starts, an ERA of 9.47.
Yeah, it has not been pretty. Over those 4 starts, a total of 19 innings pitched. He's given up 25 hits and 13 walks, leading to 20 earned runs.
Low for ball 2. Cubs jumped all over left-hander Mike Hampton yesterday. Gave up 9 runs in 4 innings, and saw the quotes in the Houston Chronicle. He just said, I was bad. I just got flat out beat. 3-1.
Well, and I think that can happen to any pitcher at this level when you make mistakes in the strike zone. And Mike Hampton left a lot of cutters up over the heart of the plate. A lot of sinkers didn't get to the corners, and it was a rough day for Hampton.
It's not the way to start it for Ortiz. The Cubs looking to jump on him early today. Now with Fukudome in there, he had been basically platooning with Reed Johnson. Reed's hoping to be back in about 3 weeks. That's the best case scenario. We'll say 3 to 4. And the injury is somewhat similar to Ryan Dempster's broken right big toe. So it's kind of that sort of time frame. Reed will not travel with the team on this long road trip. He's going to get treatment and basically hang out here at home. The kick and the pitch to Terrio, and Quintero snaps the throw to first. Fukudome back in time. I guess the only silver lining is that the Cubs won't face many left-handed starters on this next trip. So Jeff Stevens is back for today, and it sounds like the Cubs will make a roster move before the game tomorrow night, and the guess here would be Sam Fuld will be back from Iowa.
Of course, this close to the trading deadline, there's always going to be speculation that the Cubs are looking for help from outside the organization, but it would certainly appear that the easy fix would be to get Sam Fuld back up to the major leagues.
A kick, the 1-0. Breaking ball strike. 1-1.
Well, and with Fukudome reaching here to start the ball game, he continues a really good streak as the leadoff hitter. And we documented Soriano's resurgence since he moved down to the 6th hole. Kosuke Fukudome hitting .321 with a .400 on base percentage as the Cubs leadoff hitter.
If those two guys continue to do what they've done in their new spots, I think by the end of the year, while the Cubs aren't going to lead the league in runs like they did last year, I think those rankings will look okay. They're into the top 10 now out of 16 teams in the league in runs. Cued foul.
Soriano certainly wasn't your prototypical leadoff hitter, and neither is Kosuke Fukudome for that matter. He doesn't run as much as you'd like a leadoff hitter to run, doesn't steal as many bases, but he is probably the best base runner the Cubs have on their roster, and his ability not only to hit his way on base but to take that base on balls, I think he may have found a home for the time being.
Another foul by Terrio. Congratulations to Andres Blanco. His first career home run came late in the game, and he did get the ball. Got the souvenir. Hit it right near the foul pole. In fact, off the netting, the hey hey sign and the 353. Well, at the pace of about 8 minutes per batter here in the bottom of the first, this could be about a 7-hour game. Ortiz takes his time. We've talked about it before, and he strikes out Terrio. So a walk and a strikeout, bringing up Derek Lee, and the trio of Lee, Ramirez, and Soriano. Even though Ramos out today, they have combined for 14 homers and 46 RBIs against the Astros this year.
Through the Astros, that's disastrous. A bit of a stretch there, but
that works for me. I like that.
Hey,
all right, I'm asking. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you to explain why Derek Lee can't hit Russ Ortiz. I asked him, and he has no explanation whatsoever.
It's just one of those mysteries of mankind. 3 for 33 lifetime against Russ Ortiz, when seemingly everybody else on the Cubs roster and the National League beat him like a drum. Sometimes you just don't pick up the ball well out of a guy's hand. You don't pick up the rotation on his breaking pitches for whatever reason, and maybe it's the fact that Derek's hit a lot of hard balls right at people. We don't really know, but the numbers sure aren't pretty.
Well, I told him before the game, go 4 for 4 and you don't have to explain it anymore. He didn't have any explanation. I think the explanation is he just hasn't gotten hits. It's his lowest batting average against all pitchers he's faced at least 30 times. And it's also the lowest opponent's batting average for Ortiz, with a minimum of 30 at bats. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
There was a time in their respective careers much earlier that Russ Ortiz had great stuff. Don't make any mistake about it. He was a very, very good pitcher. Threw extremely hard. Had good breaking stuff, but as he's gotten older, he's lost some velocity on his fastball. He relies more on craftiness now than stuff. A lot of cutters.
He gets Derek again. Swinging strikeout. Well, you go back a 6-year period, 99 to 04. He had at least 14 wins and no more than 12 losses in every season. But since 2005, he has 10 wins combined with some injuries in there as well. He missed all of last year after right elbow surgery the previous August. Tommy John. Fox in for Ramirez, swing and a miss. He gives his team a chance to win. His teams have gone 151 and 114 in his 265 career starts. 0-2.
Boy, if this first inning is any indication of what Ortiz is going to be featuring today, the Cubs are really going to have to think about going to the opposite field. Lots of cut fastballs and sliders away from the right-handed hitters. He has not made a mistake over the heart of the plate yet.
Slider missed low, 1-2. We haven't seen Fukudome take off for second. Got that great Wrigley Field scorecard.
That looks a lot like the same one Ron Santo uses.
You become the most popular fan in your section when you're keeping score. Well, what did he do last inning? I've got it right here. Called strike 3. Fastball on the outer edge. So he strikes out 3 after the leadoff walk. 0-0 after 1.
Hello, Conover, Wisconsin. They go nuts for the Cubbies. You can't blame them. Hey, fans, on Sunday, August 9th, minor league excitement returns to Wrigley Field with the second annual Road to Wrigley presented by National City, now part of PNC. Get ready for a day of fun featuring Berserk and the Wacky Superstars. Don't miss the action as the Iowa Cubs take on the Las Vegas 51s at Wrigley Field. Order your tickets today at Cubs.com.
Call strike. And big Carlos Lee batting cleanup and leading off the second. Blum and Pence will also hit in this inning. If anybody reaches, Jeff Keppinger. It's over in New York. Mets 7, Rockies nothing. Johan Santana combined with 2 others on a 4-hit shutout in a game that took just 2 hours and 22 minutes. The Rockies really struggling in that series. Lee deep to left. Soriano on the warning track. Near the well, gone. Just got it out. You get to the point where you feel like Carlos Lee knows exactly where to place a fly ball like that. If he hits it 3 feet to the left, Soriano catches it.
"19 career bombs for Carlos Lee here at Wrigley Field." And I mentioned in that last half inning that Ortiz had not made a mistake on the inside part of the plate. Well, Kevin Hart just did. Carlos Lee all over it. You see right there at the edge of the well. You're absolutely right. A couple 3 feet to the left. Soriano makes the play.
Strike one on Jeff Blum. So for Lee, his second homer of the series, 298th of his career. He's at 19 here, 30 in his career against the Cubs. Jeff Blum out into right center.
What's that thing in his mouth, you ask? That's a thumb guard that some hitters wear. Some guys wear it on the top thumb, others on the bottom thumb. Obviously, your thumb goes through that hole. The pad fits at the base of your thumb where you have that big meaty muscle right there. And sometimes guys get bone bruises in that area, and that pad helps to cut down on some of the shock.
I guess if you have problems with that, they call it the Blum thumb.
Ooh.
I believe.
Well, there's a name for that particular piece of equipment, but since this is a family show, we won't go there.
One strike on Hunter Pence. El Caballo working on what he's going to say to the fans out in the bleachers. One and one. We are email accessible. Len and Bob at chicagonow.com. You can also tweet us at twitter.com/Len and Bob. It's over his head. Did it hit him?
I think it glanced off his helmet there.
Oh, and it also hit C.B. Buckner. Ed Halber, Cubs athletic training staff, heading out to check on the home plate umpire.
It's the second time in a week that a game has been stopped because C.B. Buckner got hit, either with a foul tip, this time with a hit by pitch that glanced off the helmet of Hunter Pence and caught him on the left side of the chest. Now, the umpires do wear a chest protector underneath that light blue shirt. Might have, however, just missed that shoulder protection on the left side because Buckner really goes down quickly.
Well, the thing about that, it probably felt a lot worse than it looked. It barely hit the helmet of Pence, so the velocity didn't change, but the speed or the direction changed ever so slightly as well. I don't think CB thought that ball was going to hit him. I mean, it thought it was going to go past him, and I'm sure he wasn't ready for the impact. Probably took his breath away more than anything else. Now he's got to get back in there and call balls and strikes. Not easy to do.
Well, there are those that would say that's a challenge for C.B. Buckner under the best of circumstances, but we hope he's okay.
Two on for Keppinger, nobody out. A leadoff home run, a single, and a hit batter.
Watch the first pitch. Jeff Keppinger has been cherry picking against the Cubs in this series, looking for that first pitch fastball wherever it happens to be.
It was a breaking ball and a good scoop by Terry on a bounced pickoff attempt from Coy Hill.
We talked about this in the past. Any first and second bunt situation, if that batter bunts through the ball, or in that case takes the pitch, it should be an automatic pickoff at second base, or you have the option for a pickoff at second base, because one of your middle infielders is always going to be at the bag at second base. And especially when that batter bunts through the ball, the reaction of the runner is always to take one extra step, and that's when they become susceptible.
The bunt ends up being a good one, even though he kind of popped it up. And it's a sacrifice for Keppinger.
Well, not very aesthetically pleasing, but it's effective from our Southwest Sky Cam. That bunt is popped up to the third base side. Kevin Hart was coming straight in from the mound. Jake Fox was staying back to read the play, and the ball dropped safely on the third base side, and the Cubs could only get the out at first.
Are you a little surprised at this part of the order this early in the game for a guy who has 5 hits in the series that he made an out on purpose?
Yeah, I have to say I'm a
That's
little
a leading
surprised.
question.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
Well, yeah, I am as well. I mean, Russ Ortiz is a good hitting pitcher, but generally you don't set up the inning for the guys hitting 8th and 9th in your batting order, especially with a hot hitter like Keppinger at the plate.
And in the second inning. But as we always say,
yep,
the manager knows his team better than we do. Hey, good to see Aaron Boone next to Keppinger. Glad we got a shot of Aaron as he's trying to come back from heart surgery. And the reason Jeff Keppinger is here is because of the health situation for Aaron Boone. Basically replaced him on their roster. Not sure when or if Aaron Boone will get back to playing at this level, but it's good to see him in uniform, and he's a good guy. He's been around a long time.
Now, I really thought Aaron Boone was going to be a big part of this Astros offense this year. Probably not going to hit for a high average as C.B. Buckner takes another one.
CB will be sitting in a bucket of ice after this game.
Another look at it as Quintero fouls it off the right shoulder this time. Yeah. Those last couple of first a hit by pitch that deflected off of C.B. Buckner, and this time a foul ball that catches him. You might have to think about putting some extensions out there to cover that shoulder area on the umpires.
As my late grandfather would have said, at least the left shoulder doesn't hurt now.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Len, I did some umpiring back in the day when I was in high school and college. Used to umpire some youth league games, and that was so long ago that we used the old big balloon chest protector, where you could actually hide behind it. I'm not so sure that isn't the way to go. I mean, the umpires look a lot cooler nowadays with the shirt, no chest protector showing on the outside, no shin guard showing on the outside. It's a much more fashionable look for the umpires, but I'm not so sure how protected they are back there behind the plate. Well, the good news is all these deflections have missed Coy Hill up to this point.
2-1 the count on Quintero. Cornermen in, they're back up the middle. Here's a pitch by Hart. It's a strike. Kevin has his sign from Coy. Here he comes, and he just hit Quintero. I'll tell you that home plate area is becoming a dangerous spot for just about anybody today. In this inning alone, 2 hit batters, and the umpire's taken a couple. And this is also the other reason why I'm a little surprised they gave up an out with the lack of command for Kevin Hart. I think Keppinger did the Cubs a favor.
Well, and I don't think Jeff Keppinger did that voluntarily. I think that was a sign that came from the bench. If a guy's in a 5-for-10 hot streak in a series, he's probably not going to go up to the plate and bunt on his own at the bottom of the order unless the manager asks him to.
Ortiz with the bases loaded can help his own cause. He has a homer this year, and like Mike Hampton, he generally helps himself at the plate. A career .206 hitter with 7 home runs. A 1. Now a ball and a strike. The other homer, the homer this year, May 19th against Milwaukee off Dave Bush. One pitch, ground ball. They'll try to turn 2. Ortiz also stumbled out of the box. Bad throw, but Lee tagged him. Russ Ortiz probably beats that throw if he doesn't stumble out of the batter's box. And they only get 1. That was a leadoff home run by Carlos Lee. 1-0.
The second inning, it all hinged on Russ Ortiz's start out of that batter's box. Hit that ground ball to Ryan Theriot at short. Watch him stumble out of the box. First 3 or 4 steps, he almost goes down. And then when Mike Fontenot's throw to first base, the relay throw on the double play pulled Derek Lee off the bag. But because of the stumble at home plate, D. Lee still had a chance to put the tag on Russ Ortiz on his way past at first.
This is just a conjecture on my part, but I think he stumbled, Bob, because he knew if I don't get there fast, the inning's going to be over. I think he got a little bit ahead of himself. Sometimes the top half moves a little faster than your feet.
Yeah. You know, I was talking about that balloon style chest protector. That's what it would look like. Guys in a truck are working hard today. You get a little more coverage. You keep your hands behind that balloon style chest protector. It covers your shoulders, covers your entire upper body. Wedge it up there underneath the mask so your throat is protected.
1-1 to Bradley. Misses 2 and 1. So they got the run on the leadoff homer by Carlos Lee, but then after hitting 2 batters and giving up a single, Kevin Hart got out of it. Three and 2. Soriano to follow. Love to see him come up with a runner on base. The way he's swinging it. Ball 4 just missed outside. Second leadoff walk in 2 innings for Russ Ortiz. Cub fans, don't forget to visit the WGN Sports Game Zone at WGNTV.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape, for up-to-the-minute stats and information designed to give you everything you need to know during the game. WGN Sports Game Zone is available for every Cubs game. It's brought to you by The Great Escape. Pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more. That's a strike to Soriano. Milton Bradley, since June 10th, with a .441 on base percentage. He has taken a ton of walks. Soriano with 3 homers, 9 RBIs on this homestand. It's a good combination of 5 and 6 holes, walks and homers. I mean, for Bradley, Bob, it's a little bit of a different feel than most number 5 hitters. I mean, 5 hitters are usually power guys, but for Bradley, he's the guy who keeps the line moving, and I think that's why you really like Soriano from 1 to 6.
You bring up a great point. Also, Milton Bradley usually is going to make that opposing pitcher throw 6, 7, 8 pitches during the course of an at bat, and you get a guy a little tired out, run up that pitch count, he's more likely to make a mistake to Soriano.
And he drills that one into the left field corner. Fair ball. Bradley at third will be held. It's a double for Alfonso. His 22nd 2-base hit.
Just when we talk about making a mistake, Ortiz leaves a breaking ball up over the inside part of the plate from our Southwest Sky Cam. Fonzie dunks it down there in the left field corner for a double, chasing Milton Bradley all the way around to third base with nobody out.
For Mike Fontenot, who has just 1 hit his last 21 trips. And he pops it up on the first one. This is going to be very playable. Keppinger just in fair territory. And we talked about where the Astros lineup was in the top of this inning. And for Russ Ortiz, that's a huge out. And Coy Hill's not an automatic out, but hitting .206 after him as a pitcher. And they're going to intentionally walk Hill and go after Kevin Hart. See what Coy did? Not a bad idea. Put his toes right at the edge of the plate in case Ortiz makes a mistake.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at the left side of the infield right now. You've got Keppinger standing on third base. Tejada now is going to move over to a little bit more of a defensive position, but that entire left side was wide open. If Ortiz left one of those pitch outs close enough to home plate, Coy could have slapped it through the left side of the infield.
That has happened on rare occasions. I think Miguel Cabrera of the Marlins once in Baltimore on an intentional walk ended up stroking a single on a pitch that was too close to the plate. Well, let's just hope Kevin Hart doesn't have the same result as Russ Ortiz in the top of the inning. He batted with the bases loaded and 1 out and hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And the liner is caught, and Matsui has nowhere to throw it. Hart hit it hard, but at the second baseman for the 2nd out. It's just bad luck.
Yeah, buzzard luck right there. Hit that ball right on the screws, but unfortunately right at Matsui at second base. Good read by all the base runners. Freeze on a line drive. All able to get back to their respective bases.
Now Kosuke Fukudome, who attended the same high school as Kazuo Matsui in Osaka, Japan. Miss the outside corner. Ortiz is going to have to throw strikes. Kosuke with a keen eye at the plate. Already walked in the first inning and knows that a walk here will tie the game. Two and 0. Ortiz really wanted it. Asking C.B. Buckner if it was outside, and Buckner said yep.
If I'm reading these stats correctly, Kosuke Fukudome's had 7 plate appearances this year with the bases loaded, and he's walked 4 times.
3-0. Now 3-1. A walk, a double, and later an intentional walk. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-1 pitch, strike 2.
Good looking pitch to hit right there for Kosuke Fukudome, but not the worst thing in the world to run the count to full with 2 outs. All 3 runners will be on the move as this pitch is delivered to home plate. Increase your chances of clearing the bases if you can find a gap.
There go the runners, and a base hit into right. Bradley's in. Here comes Soriano. Pence is going to throw to third. That's late. And Kosuke gives the Cubs a 2-1 lead.
Because he took the 3-1 pitch, he's able to drive in 2 runs with this base hit to right field. If there was a 3-1 count, Soriano would not have been running on the pitch and probably doesn't score. And I love that as a hitter. Increase the percentages, increase the odds in your favor of doing more damage with a base hit. Now, you have to have a lot of confidence to hit with a 2-strike count, but Fukudome has shown no hesitance to hit with 2 strikes.
Hill, the runner at third. Fukudome looking anxious at first, not running, and the pitch is high. Leterio. Pretty big turnaround. The Astros were trying to hang a crooked number in the top of the inning on Kevin Hart. All of a sudden they're down 2-1. Kick in the 2-0. Swing and a miss.
Ryan Theriot was looking out toward the left field bleachers where that ball was going to land after he made contact. But if you're looking out toward the bleachers, you're probably not going to make contact. Track it all the way to the hitting zone.
Outside. 3-1. You wouldn't think Ortiz is working around Theriot to face Derek Lee. Maybe Derek's been baiting him over the last 8 or 9 years for this particular inning.
Just wait for the right opportunity.
Shot down the right field line, fair. Hill is in. Fukudome is going to be sent by Mike Quade. Relay throw by Matsui. Not in time. Throw to third. Save. It's 4-1.
That's the swing we're used to seeing from Ryan Theriot in years past. That inside out lead with the hand swing. Bangs it down into that right field corner where Hunter Pence has some trouble corralling that baseball. The throw goes home. Theriot with a trick slide into third base. Big inning here for the Cubs.
It's a 2-run double for Theriot. And he went to third on the throw. So 4 RBIs combined for the top 2 guys in the order. And Derek Lee sends one out of the left center, circling his Bourne. He's got it. And that's the inning. 8 come to the plate, half of them score. Like these early inning runs. 4-1 Cubs. With Toyota. Randy Wells, 7 wins in his last 8 starts. And we're starting to hear his name now in the Rookie of the Year competition in the National League. Today's Toyota moving forward thanks to Toyota. See if Kevin Hart can settle down against the top of the order, against which he went 1-2-3 in the first inning. Struggled in the second and was fortunate to only give up 1. Theriot with a 2-run double after Fukudome knocked in a pair with a single. 1 strike pitch. Bourne shoots it out into center. Fukudome tracking it. Bourne's going to try to get to second, and he will. Standing, in fact. For a leadoff 2-base hit.
Talked about Bourne in his last at bat. You want him to hit the ball in the air, especially to the opposite field. This time a little humpback liner splits the gap in right center. Man, can he run. I thought Fukudome might have had a chance at second base, but Bourne got in there standing up easily.
Brings up Matsui. One and nothing.
Well, and because of the reinforcements in the bullpen today, I don't know how long Lou Piniella is going to stick with Kevin Hart today. That's why Randy Wells' outing yesterday was so big for the ball club and for that bullpen. You can afford to pull the plug early on a struggling starter the next day, especially with the addition of Jeff Stevens to the bullpen today.
Well, we saw Kevin struggle with the strike zone in his first 2 starts. He walked 5 in each of those games, but the key in his last outing, only 1 walk over 6 innings, gave up just 1 run against the Reds. That's very deep out into right, and for Kaz Matsui, it's a 2-run homer, and the lead down to 1, his 4th homer of the year.
The sinker that was supposed to be low and away ended up on the inside corner, about middle of the thighs, and Matsui put a nice easy swing on it, but got the barrel of the bat on it and rode it out of here. Not a lot of wind blowing right now here at Wrigley, but that one didn't need much help.
So the Astros have hit 2 home runs today. Lee and now Matsui. Here's Tejada. Called strike. Ryan Zimmerman just went deep. 3-run homer off Giovanni Gallardo, and the Nationals have jumped ahead of the Brewers 3-2 in the 4th. Milwaukee with a comeback win last night on a big go-ahead pinch hit home run from Casey McGee. So the best the Brewers can do in that series is a split, and they'll have to come back today in order to do that. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Time now to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Carlos Lee's been having a ball with the regulars in the left field bleachers the entire series. And I bet you Carlos knows a lot of the fans out there by their first name, because they're there every day.
Oh yeah, a lot of the same people sit in the same seats every day and have done so for years.
Rays have a ball thanks to the Illinois Lottery. Lee just missed it, got under it, and Fukudome will make the catch.
We've documented throughout this series how far off the plate El Caballo stands. That pitch is just inside of the inside corner and didn't quite get all of it. He's got such great plate coverage. I really think he stands so far off the plate to try to bait pitchers into painting that outside corner. And if they make the least mistake over the heart of the plate, he can still reach it. You need to stay on that outside corner or further away if you're going to try to go away from Carlos Lee.
Tony Batista was like that, with that wide open stance, about as open as you could be in the box. And it looked like he could not cover the outside corner, but as he got ready to hit, I mean, he was diving across the plate. He wanted pitchers to throw fastballs in the outside corner. Yeah, that's where he made his money.
Yeah, where he could get his hands extended.
The 2-0 to Blum. Bottom part of the zone. 2-1. like the homemade Cubs hat / wallet.
Reminds me of my days in the minor leagues down in Shreveport, Louisiana. They used to pass the hat around the bleachers if you happened to hit a big home run late in a ball game, and you could make a couple $100 on a good night if you hit a big game-winning home run late. Maybe they're taking up a collection for the game-winning home run later in the game.
Plum waves at strike 3. Matsui with a 2-run homer. It's now Cubs 4, Astros 3. Good to have D. Lee's golf buddy in attendance today. WGN, world's greatest network. We like that one. Jake Fox, deep into right center. Carlos Lee without room, a home run. Wind maybe blowing just a little bit out. He got it up into the jet stream for his 6th home run. 5-3. If you're going to replace Ramirez in the lineup, you better hit a homer or a double.
We were talking about Carlos Lee and the kind of plate coverage that he has. Jake Fox is right out of the same mold. Our Southwest, how far did it fly? 373 feet. I mean, Jake Fox goes to the plate looking for a fastball. It doesn't matter if you throw it in, out, up, down. He is ready to hit a fastball, especially on that first pitch.
1-1 on Bradley. Andres Blanco saying, I hit mine harder than you hit yours. Bradley crushes that ball the other way. Gone! Back-to-back homers as they answer. And it's 6-3.
Starting to make strides from that left side of the plate. That was a fastball near the outside corner, and Milton just goes with it to the gap in left center. Another Southwest, how far did it fly? 372 feet.
What do you think Soriano is going to try to do?
Bunt for a base hit, maybe?
Wouldn't be a bad play.
I think not.
Broke his bat and rolls it into center. That'll work. brings up Fontenot. How to get him going. Just about everybody else is going in this offense. Mike had a great year last year and part-time duty. It's been a tough season for him this year. He hit .305 with a .395 on base percentage. Slugged over .500 last season. And 284 plate appearances. He has 309 this year, and he has 9 fewer RBIs, 1 less home run. Two and one. Now the counting stats are pretty similar, but the rate stats are not. That, however, is fair. And it'll send Soriano at least to third. Mike Quaddy says, come on home. Relay throw. Goes to third. Everybody safe. 7-3.
This is fun. Mike Fontenot crushes a middle of the plate fastball past a diving Jeff Blum down there at first base. Hey, good to see Fonzie running the bases there. Came around from first base to score on that ball down the right field line and was really stretching it out around third base. Fontenot slides in safely to third. Mike Quaddy let him know very early, just keep on coming. Don't even hesitate. Don't think about it. You're going to score.
An RBI triple for Fontenot. Lefty Tim Burdack up for the Astros. Infield in. Strike on Coy Hill. Still nobody out. Homer, homer, single, triple. Line into center. Bourne makes a catch. Here's a throw to the plate. Late. Fontenot scores standing 8-3. Sacrifice line out.
Coy Hill putting together a few good games with good at bats. This time a line drive into shallow center. Bourne slipped a little bit on his release right there. I don't think he was going to get Fontenot at the plate anyway. Coy Hill's had some success the last 2 or 3 days staying up the middle of the field. Ground balls up the middle, fly balls to right center and left center, and that time a line drive into straightaway center.
Base is empty. 4 runs in.
Taylor, this offensive outburst by the Cubs in this series has not been lost on the rest of the National League, especially the rest of the division.
Kevin Hart has hit 2 balls very hard, this one resulting in a single.
It's hardly been a well-kept secret how badly the Cubs have struggled this year offensively, and to start putting up some crooked numbers and having the big innings and getting contributions up and down the lineup, well, the other teams in the division and around the league have to be saying, uh-oh, here they come.
Well, what you hope happens is this carries over into the road trip. We know how much better the Cubs have been at home than on the road, even though they had a really good trip coming out of the break. Going 5-2 on the East Coast. They're still 6 games under on the road. They're 13 over here at home. Now the hit of the game was the Fukudome 2-run single. If he makes it out there, the Cubs don't get any in the second. As it is, they got 4. Because Terrio followed up with a 2-run double. Three and 1. Fukudome has worked a 3-ball count in every at bat. Three and 2. Tell you, we've actually seen Ortiz work as quickly as we've ever seen him. Another ball hit very well. Lee won't get it. Bounces off the track. Kevin Hart sent home. No relay will be made to the plate. An RBI double for Fukudome. 9-3. That's it for Russ Ortiz. Second straight day. A veteran starter will have given up at least 9 runs. Could be 10 if Fukudome scores in this inning. Burdack will replace him. All Cubs pounding the baseball today. In a shutout Cubs win yesterday, and they already have 9 today, and we're only in the 3rd inning. Tim Burdack makes his second appearance in this series. Saw him a couple of nights ago. Scoreless inning. And he comes in to face righties. Fukudome at second. 5 runs in this inning. Still only 1 out. Outside corner strike.
And Burdack has actually done a real good job against right-handed hitters this year, holding them to a 169 average, while lefties are hitting 224 against him.
Kosuke with 3 RBIs the last 2 innings. He and Terrio have batted in each of the first 3 innings. Derek Lee will probably get that opportunity as well. Chance here to take 3 of 4 in this series. Go 6-1 on a 7-game homestand. They're 10-3 since the break. They were right at 500 after the first half. A win today, they would get to 8 over for the first time all year. I got 2 hands on it and didn't make the play.
A rare miscue by the best fielding fans in baseball here. We'll just blame it on that one guy. Oh, man, shouldn't have eaten that butter popcorn. Not even a bad spot, right in the hands.
So, hey, throw it up here. No,
yeah,
it's not going to happen. Ground ball up the middle. Nice backhanded play, but it got under the glove of Matsui. And Terrio is safe. That was an excellent stab on the short hop, but he couldn't get it out of his glove. And it's an error on Matsui.
Matsui made half of a nice play right there. A rare error on the Astros second baseman. I believe that's only his 3rd all season. Got to it in good shape, just couldn't find the handle to make the throw.
Derek, maybe the only batter in this lineup happy to see Ortiz out of the game. He went 0 for 2. Pretty much everybody else did some damage against the Astros starter. Chance here to get to double digits on this homestand for the 3rd time. And they're doing it today without a Ramos Ramirez, who gets the afternoon off. They cut 2-1. It's been a long week for Cecil Cooper. They won Tuesday night, but they've had to use a lot of their bullpen. They've suffered some injuries. And in the game they won, they lost Roy Oswalt due to a back injury. They lost Wesley Wright due to dehydration. Not sure if he's available today. It's full on Derek. Terrio runs, swing and a miss, throw to second. They're going to throw back to the plate and get Fukudome to end the inning. Not the only bad thing that happened the whole inning for the Cubs. They got 5 runs and lead 9-3. 4 in the second, 5 in the third. Spark plug has been Kosuke Fukudome, a walk, a single, a double, 3 RBIs and a run. Jake Fox and Milton Bradley started the inning with back-to-back home runs. Nothing in one on Hunter Pence. Took a pitch, it glanced off his helmet in the second. Hart missed on a mid-70s curve, 1-1. Three previous starts for Kevin Hart, 16 innings, 2 wins, and a 2.25 ERA. Kind of interesting. He told reporters after his last start that Ted Lilly, the guy he replaced that day in the rotation, and previously was pitching in Ryan Dempster's spot, that Ted sat with him during the game and they went over pitch selection and strategy, and Hart said it was very helpful.
All part of that learning curve for a young pitcher at the major league level. The more often you can sit next to a veteran pitcher and talk about those things, pitch selection, inning management, a term we hear Ryan Dempster use a lot. Ted Lilly is a firm believer in that as well. You're going to give up hits and walks in the major leagues. What do you do after those hits and walks to get yourself out of an inning?
Bradley's back on the warning track, has barely enough room to retire Hunter Pence. Cubs Destinations, a preferred baseball road trip provider of the team, provides fans with the most unique VIP road trip experience available. Each package includes great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, a tour of the ballpark, and a private meet and greet with a current Cubs player. For more info, visit Cubs.com. Keppinger, without an official at bat, put down a sac bunt in the second. One and one. Hi, Ryan. Dempster's next start will come on Sunday late in the afternoon in Florida against former Cub farmhand Ricky Nolasco. Jeff Keppinger's old team, the Cincinnati Reds, they lost again. They dropped 3 of 4 against the San Diego Padres, 7-4 the final. They were 1 hit last night. Keppinger flies to Fukudome. Jerry Hairston hit a home run. That was the only hit they had. And Dusty Baker was very upset about their performance. These words like pitiful and terrible to describe what he saw.
Embarrassing, I think, was thrown in there as well.
We'll see the Reds on this next road trip. Muscled foul by Quintero. Inside, 1-1. It's like the Astros have decided, especially down 6, Be as patient as possible against Kevin Hart. Hasn't worked this inning. He's retired the first two. Even though Pence did back up Milton Bradley to the wall on the track out and right.
Well, then that used to be standard operating procedure. If a ball club fell behind by 5 or 6 or more runs early in the game, you were expected to go to the plate and take until you got a strike. The idea being that you need a bunch of base runners to get back into the game, and a solo home run is nice, and certainly it whittles into the lead, but the more base runners you can put on, the more pressure you put on the pitcher and the defense. And it used to be a common practice around baseball when you were behind by a lot of runs early, everybody took until they got a strike.
Did not even reach the plate. 3-1. Full count, 3-2. The pitcher Burdack on deck. Nobody warming up. The Astros need innings. And it will be Burdack to come up. Cub fans, Len and Bob's baseball blog has joined Chicago Now. So from now on, you can find the same great content from Len and Bob's blog at chicagonow.com/Len and Bob, as well as WGNTV.com. I have a post about something. Oh, the roster move today.
Yeah, there you go.
Game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. And much, much more. Once again, WGNTV.com or chicagonow.com. We have Terrence Howard hitting every note. He'll take me out to the ball game from yesterday. Oh, and 2. Burdack, a native of Oak Lawn, Illinois. Two career hits and 8 at bats. One of those hits a double. The Astros with 2 relievers in the series picking up their first major league hit. What's going to happen for Burdack as he strikes out. They leave 1. It's 9-3 Cubs. This is a makeup of a game that was supposed to have been played on May 15th, but it was rained out. So a 3-game series becoming a 4-gamer, and that's okay because the Cubs are hot. And they put up 9 runs in the first 3 innings. It does beat selling insurance. Is he referring to coming to a game, I guess? Yes. Attending Wrigley Field does beat selling insurance and a lot of other things.
Not that there's anything wrong with selling insurance, but it pales in comparison with a day at Wrigley.
It scattered everybody in the bullpen. Who got hit? Like everybody's fine. That's good news. Jake Fox is going to hear it.
Well, they should know by now that with Jake Fox at the plate, if he gets something on the inside part of the plate, it's going to end up either right down that third base line or over toward that bullpen. He's not going to inside out it to right field. Let's just put it that way.
There's a great story from when Jake was in Lansing, Michigan, catching for the Lugnuts, Cubs affiliate, 2004. Mark Pryor went down for a rehab start. Fox was catching and thought he was going to be the battery mate of the major leaguer. Told his parents to come on up from Indianapolis. Gets to the park that day, and he's not on the lineup card. Paul Bacco's name was on the card. The pitching coach, Mike Anderson, told Jake, you got to say something to the manager, Julio Garcia. So Jake went in. He was not happy. And Garcia said, I just talked to Jim Hendry, and I told him I didn't think you were ready to catch a guy like Mark Pryor. Nice backhanded play by Keppinger. So we brought a major league guy to catch Mark Pryor. And Jake was just livid at this point. So as he stormed out of the manager's office, Garcia said, by the way, can you post this lineup card? And it had Jake's name in it. Pulled a little prank on Jake Fox.
That's not funny.
But that's baseball, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And they only usually do that to you if they like you.
Absolutely. If they know you'll take it in the right way. Although, I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of that. I've told this story in the past, and he's not here with the Astros right now because he does the Spanish broadcast for the Astros. But Alex Trevino, as Bradley grounds out to Keppinger at third, Alex Trevino and I were sharing the catching duties with the San Francisco Giants back, I believe it was the '85 season. And whichever one of us was in the starting lineup, the other one would go into the manager's office and argue that he should be the one that should be catching tonight. And this was a daily occurrence. And it got to the place where the last guy in the manager's office was the guy that got to start the ball game more often than not. So it had to be a little bit of a lawyer to talk your way into the lineup. And Alex and I pleaded our case daily as to who should be doing the starting catching. You have to be your own agent sometimes.
I think the only thing that you have to worry about, wasn't there a Phillies pitcher a year or two ago, this elaborate prank that he was traded to some team overseas, did all these interviews. Assistant GM Ruben Amaro also talked to like their pregame show people. This guy was packing his bags, and they told him that he wasn't getting traded. You got to know when to stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Before he gets on the plane. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but before something is said that somebody might regret.
Oh, yeah.
The 2-1 to Soriano is a strike, 2-2.
Well, the pranks used to be a lot more elaborate in the game of baseball as well. Cub fans are very familiar with Rick Sutcliffe and Mark Grace and the way those two used to go at each other. And it was reported at one time Sutcliffe rented a billboard here in Chicago and put Grace's home phone number, said call for free Cubs tickets.
Diving stop by Burdack, and he throws out Soriano, and the Cubs go down 1-2-3 for the first time. They lead the Astros by 6.
Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band will be playing Toyota Park August 8th and August 15th, brought to you by Land Shark Lager. Tickets are available exclusively at livenation.com. That's Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band on the 8th and the 15th of August, brought to you by Land Shark Lager. Let the fin begin, and the fin has begun here in the top half of the fifth as Michael Bourne grounds out to second base.
We won't hear any Jimmy Buffett music this weekend.
Oh, probably not.
On the beach in South Florida.
We may run into Jimmy Buffett on the beach in South Florida.
Matsui got the Astros within one with a 2-run homer in the third. But at the bottom of that inning, the Cubs struck back for 5. Foul.
From our perch up here in the press box, we don't even need to look at the flagpoles to say that the wind has changed directions. We can feel that cool lake breeze start to blow in ever so slightly. The wind was blowing straight out at the beginning of the game, and turned around and blowing almost straight in.
Inside, 1 and 2. Yeah, we have the natural air conditioning working right now. Unlike the home radio booth, they have an actual air conditioner taking up about half the space in there. And Ron Santo has a new friend. A family of Cub fans, they made that sculpture. And the bear, the Cub, has a Ron Santo jersey on. I don't know which one was the statue there. Ron wasn't moving.
There he goes.
Okay.
All right.
Just realized we're showing him. You turn it around, Ron. Turn it around. There we go. Number 10. Nicely done. I thought it was made out of chocolate. I tried to take a bite out of it. Thought it was an Easter present.
Not good, huh?
No.
Well, they have so much extra room over in that radio booth, they need a few decorations. I would encourage fans everywhere to send all kinds of stuffed animals and statuettes and hair pieces, whatever you have laying around. Send it to the radio booth.
Got a dead elephant in there, too. (3-2) to Matsui. And that's in the center, caught by Fukudome. Matsui lines out. Now time for the 5th inning, brought to you by Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Tejada up the middle. Terrio able to stop it. That's it. It'll be a hit for Tejada, who is leading the league in hits, his 134th of the year.
From our Southwest Sky Cam, you see how far up the middle Ryan Terrio had to range right there. I don't believe he had a shot to get Tejada at first base. Miguel Tejada is one of those hitters that can sniff an infield hit. If he sees that position player has to move more than 3 or 4 steps, he feels like he's got a good chance to beat it out at first.
The major league leader in hits is Ichiro. Not a big surprise. He has 150. But Tejada paces the NL. Ichiro also leading the majors in batting average at .368. Right center. Fukudome with a long run. Bradley is going to cut it off, however, and that'll end the inning. So Hart can qualify for the win. Getting through 5, 9-3 Cubs. Time now for a look at our high-def shot of the game, sponsored by Comcast. Happy 86th birthday to Grandpa. Can't read the small print, but hopefully Grandpa knows who he is. All the grandpas that turned 86 today, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to all of you.
Cubs baseball in high definition is sponsored by Comcast. Fontenot goes deep to left, and that's going to hit the warning track. So Mike starting to heat up with a triple and a double today. This one off a lefty, Tim Burda.
Good opposite field power there by Mike Fontenot, short hopping the fence, straight away left field, lead off double.
We received a note from big Cubs fan Jan Ink, here with her husband and friends. So she enjoys the broadcasts. She enjoys that too. Coy Hill with a hit to right. His first of the day. Intentional walk, a sac fly. Now single to right. Brings up the pitcher Hart. And she wrote to tell us about her dad. Watched every game and especially enjoyed the ones on WGN. Unfortunately, he passed away this February at 85. And for his memorial service, his family all wore Cubs shirts, and Jan is wearing hers today in his memory. Joe Hajek, or Hajek. So we certainly want to remember Joe Hajek in our thoughts today. Thanks for that nice note, Jan. Oh, 1 to Kevin Hart. Big home run swing. 0-2. Best wishes go out to Vi Mooring from Pekin, Illinois. Vi's sister Norma Perry sent us a nice letter. Kick in the 1-2. Fastball missed up and away. Former Cub pitcher Scott Sanderson will conduct the stretch. a little later on. Hart strikes out. Number 2 for Burdack. I'm guessing that guy has a Mark Pryor jersey. He is made into a Kevin Hart uniform. One and nothing on Fukudome.
Could be a Billy Buckner jersey.
Could be.
Way back in the day, didn't Billy Buck wear 22?
I think you're right. With 2-0 on the way, that's high. 3 balls, no strikes. He walked him, and that loads the bases for Ryan Theriot.
Fukudome continues to excel in that leadoff spot. That's the 4th time he's reached base in this ball game. We're only in the 5th inning. 2 walks, a 2 RBI single, and an RBI double.
High fly ball for Theriot. Bourne with plenty of time to get under it. And Fontenot will come to the plate. It's 10-3. Sac fly for Theriot. 6 RBIs combined in those top 2 spots. The Cubs have hit double figures 3 times on this homestand. It is now being reported that the Cubs are closing in on a potential deal with the Pirates for lefty John Grable. I've seen a lot of John Grable over the years. As the Pirates continue to deal away veterans. There's a 3.42 earned run average. So he would add to Sean Marshall out in that pen. And if needed, if you needed to use Marshall to start at some point, you'd be covered. That's a strike. Derek not so sure about it. 3-2.
I'm pretty sure that's not a strike. Burdick was trying to nip the outside corner with a cutter that just never really took the break, stayed up and away the whole time.
Tough day for Derek, but not for the rest of this offense. It's 10-3 after 5. Now today's Honda Accord game summary. Visit your Honda dealer and test drive a 2009 Honda Accord. Homers today for Houston, Lee and Matsui. Cubs went back-to-back in the third, but they haven't just done it with a home run ball. A lot of extra base hits, doubles and triples. Jeff Blum pulls it into right. He's 2 out of 3 as we start the 6th. So what do you make of that ESPN.com report that Cubs could be closing in on John Graybo? That's a name we've heard in rumor mills, along with Joe Beimel of Washington.
I like it. I mean, you know, we've seen a lot of John Graybo over the years. He can be a very effective left-handed specialist. He's very accustomed to pitching late in close ball games. And whether it's John Graybo or somebody else, another lefty in that bullpen would seem to be the most pressing need for the Cubs at this point. We've documented some of the instances lately where Lou Piniella had to make the choice between using Sean Marshall in the 5th, 6th, maybe the 7th inning of a ball game in a crucial situation, and then not having that lefty available later in the game, or if you save him for later in the game, you may not need him later in the ball game. So having that second lefty down there will give Lou a lot more flexibility making those pitching changes and getting matchups late.
The other question that was asked of Lou Piniella when he met with the media pregame was, do you have to now go out and get a right-handed hitting outfielder who can play center to give you another option against lefties, with Johnson out at least 3 weeks? Pence with a big swing and a miss, 2-2. Kosuke hitting 172 against lefties. Again, the good news in that regard on this next trip, Cubs may not see any lefties, although Jorge De La Rosa is in the Rockies rotation. So we'll see how that plays out. Guzman and Marshall up in the bullpen. Three-2 to Pence. A high fly, deep. Bradley on the track, reaching back, makes the play. They fly deep to the track. In fact, Pence, the last 2 times up, has just missed a home run. And he's not happy. I think guys are more frustrated when they have 2 at-bats like Pence did than if he had struck out twice. Because you're all so close.
Yeah, you get a good pitch to hit. You make good, solid contact. You saw Sean Berry, the Astros hitting coach, pointing up at the flags in center field. That was probably what kept that drive by Hunter Pence in the ballpark.
The 1-0 to Keppinger's inside. Since the Matsui 2-run homer, Kevin Hart's just scattered 2 hits. That was back in the 3rd inning. Outside third. It's 2-1. Watch a ball game, get your hair styled.
I hope that's somebody he knows and not just some random fan sitting behind him that started to style his hair there.
Take a little more off the top. Bradley comes over. This ball's twisting toward the seats, and it'll find the fans just beyond the bullpen. Everybody wants a high five. Full count, 3-2. Line shot just into the seats.
There you go. Give it to a kid. I like it. You usually get a much better reaction from the other adults in the section when you do that.
Soriano in several steps. Quintero digs in, hit by a pitch. And second, walked in the fourth. Baltimore beat Kansas City today 7-3. Brad Ferguson over Luke Hochevar.
Take our eyes off the action. Doesn't want to miss one exciting moment of Cubs baseball.
Former Cub Rich Hill has gone to the DL with a left shoulder inflammation for the Orioles. He had a 7.80 ERA in 14 appearances, 13 starts. Rich, by the way, was quoted yesterday saying that he's been pitching with a torn labrum pretty much all year. And the Orioles acted a little surprised, the manager Dave Tremblay, when he heard that. The manager said it's the first time I've heard about any tear. Hill said he had tests while he was with the Cubs that showed a partial tear. Quote, it just depends on how you can handle it. According to the AP story. Outside.
Well, not to make light of Rich Hill's injury, but I would venture a guess that every player in the major leagues, not only pitchers, but every player has some degree of fraying or tearing in their throwing arm labrum. It's just such an unnatural motion. And Rich is right. The part about it's just basically a matter of what you can deal with. Some guys can play through it. Some guys need to break down and have surgery.
And Andy McPhail did say we were aware of that situation when we made that trade with the Cubs. And he said what you said. It's not unnecessarily or not necessarily uncommon. It's full 3-2. Jason Michaels on deck for Burdack. Love me some cotton candy. You know, he's only 20 feet away from us. If you could yell down there, we could probably get some.
I left my money in my other pants, darn it.
Left it in your Cubs cap down near home plate. Ball 4. Follow your team on your iPhone and iPod Touch with MLB.com. At Bat 2009, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Cubs.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase. Jason Michaels with a couple of hits in the pinch so far in the series. Probably the last batter for Kevin Hart. He tries to end the sixth, and if he cannot, Michael Bourne on deck. We might see Sean Marshall. Right at 100 pitches on the day. Michaels offered at it and quickly recoiled in horror. Why did I swing? Struck him out. So Kevin Hart, 6 innings, 3 runs, a lot of run support for him today. 10-3. Back here at the ballpark, the Cubs lead the Astros 10-3. A chance to win 3 of 4 in the series and 6 of 7 on this week-long stay. A win today would be 54 wins out of the first 100. Sinker baller Chris Sampson. He'll strike one to Jake Fox. Sampson gave up the game-winning grand slam Monday night to Alfonso Soriano in the bottom of the 13th.
A rude welcome back off the disabled list. Sampson spent 15 days on the DL with right shoulder spasms, and Monday's 13-inning game was his first day back off the DL.
It was in his second inning of work. One and two to Fox. Doug Brocale came back yesterday, maybe a little earlier than he was originally scheduled to, but they needed some help when LaTroy Hawkins went on the shelf with the back injury. Brocale a little rusty as Fox strikes out. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Milton Bradley with a home run today, his 8th of the year. Strike one. Sampson from the windup. That is very deep to right, but he was out in front. Outside. Wild one at Fenway Park today. Red Sox taking a 6-5 lead with 3 in the 7th against Oakland. And the 3 in the 7th, a 3-run homer by David Ortiz. Goes flying almost into the Astros dugout.
So hit something over there to put a nick in the barrel of the bat. You saw Milton check it quickly and decided he didn't want to proceed with that bat. Asked for another one from the bat boy. Ready to go now.
2-2. Bourne calling, but Carlos Lee didn't hear him apparently.
We talked about that wind kind of blowing in from right field, in from center, and the fans are really going to give it to Carlos now. Being pushed further and further away from Michael Bourne. It didn't appear like either Astro outfielder called for that ball, and as always, the tallest guy will get to it first.
So David Ortiz with a big home run, and obviously not distracted today by the report in the New York Times that his name was on that list of over 100 players back in '03. Who tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. In that article, Ortiz declined comment.
Not to get into a whole big can of worms here, Len, but you can certainly understand the concern of the Players Association when these tests that were taken back in '03 and were supposed to be confidential
and anonymous,
and slowly but surely names start to leak out, always an unnamed source. And, I don't condone using steroids, but I certainly don't condone snitches either, especially when players were assured it was all going to be confidential. And basically to see where the game was at, how many cheaters do we have in the game, how big a problem is it. That was the purpose for the drug test back in '03.
Yeah, there are two very separate issues, and I guess my follow-up to that would be, because these names are slowly being leaked, if you're on that list, it might not be a bad idea to just admit it and get it over with. Just the idea of living with this. Any day I could get a call from a newspaper reporter saying, do you have any comment on this? Jim Parquet former member of the White Sox pitching staff, admitting he was involved. And some of that stuff as Fontenot keeps the inning alive. A hit would be 3 for 4 for Mike.
And if it's an error, it would double Matsui's error output for the season. Here in one ball game, he had 2 errors on the season coming into this series. He's already made 1 this afternoon. Yeah, I don't think that's an exceptional effort there, and that's kind of the determining point for whether it's a base hit or an error. It looked to me like Matsui could have taken 1 or 2 more steps and gotten in front of that ball, but he chose to go down to a knee and try to backhand it, and it will be an E4.
A strike to Coy Hill. One and one. Brewers with 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. They lead 7-3 over the Nationals up in Milwaukee. Called foul, and well, CB Buckner saying that ball went off the foot of Coy Hill. Well, we can have another look at it, but Humberto Quintero saying it did. It landed fair. Let's see. Did it hit his knee or part of his body?
Certainly
when it
didn't
came
look
back
like
up.
it. Yeah, it didn't look like it at all. But
the only thing I would say is Coy didn't react. He didn't even try to run. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He swings and misses. He'll be honest with us after the game. We'll ask him, did it touch you? All Cubs 10-3.
Nothing like the real thing. Ashford and Simpson. That's today's Bud Light Fan Cam with just the right taste that never fills you up. The difference is drinkability.
Sean Marshall out of the bullpen, facing Michael Bourne, who has led off the inning. All 4 at bats. The first, the third, the fifth, and now the 7th. swings and misses for the strikeout. Your thoughts on Kevin Hart today? 6 innings, 3 runs.
You know, Kevin Hart never makes it look easy, but when you look up at the end of the day, he did a nice job once again today. Held the Astros to 6 hits. He did walk a couple of batters, but they didn't come around and bother him. Himself 4 strikeouts, and for the most part was around the strike zone. He had to work a lot to get some of his outs, but 2-run homer, a solo homer, not bad. The important thing is his offense gave him a lot of runs to work with. And that certainly takes a lot of the pressure off of the young starting pitcher to just go out there and throw the ball over the plate and let your defense work.
Matsui batting right-handed for the first time today. Good to see Joe Kwasny at the ballpark as a fan today. Joe used to work security at the ballpark. Larry Miles checks in from Hammond, Indiana. Cubs fan since he was in high school in 1969. (3-2) to Matsui. Ball 4. Looking ahead to tonight, Hiroki Kuroda will face Kyle Loesch in St. Louis as the Cardinals go for the 4-game sweep. Fastball strike. You referenced it very early today, the Phillies and Giants. That's an intriguing series. Rodrigo Lopez and Jonathan Sanchez will kick it off late tonight on the West Coast.
Well, we got an up close and personal look at what that Philadelphia offense can do when they're firing on all cylinders, and they're going up against statistically the best pitching staff in the National League. That should be a great series.
6, 4, 3, double play. Time for the stretch with Scott Sanderson.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game is former Cubs pitcher Scott Sanderson.
All right, let me hear you now. A 1, a 2, a 3. You're out at the old ball game. Let's go, Cubbies!
bottom of the 7th. Andres Blanco will pinch hit for Sean Marshall. He hit his first major league home run in the ball game yesterday, and the pride of Glenbrook North High School in the booth with us. Scott Sanderson. Always a pleasure, Scott. Nicely done with the 7th inning stretch.
I don't know if nicely would describe it, but it's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Very comfortable. Got a big hand.
I love being back here in Wrigley Field, and as you know, these are the greatest sports fans in the world.
No doubt. You brought up an excellent point during the break. The Astros go to St. Louis this weekend, and the Cubs hope that they continue to struggle. Well, it's going to be a tough series for them.
The game yesterday and then today, I got to tell you, the Astros fans probably aren't very happy with what they're seeing.
And the other question is, will Roy Oswalt and his back have him ready for a start on Sunday? That certainly is up in the air for Cecil Cooper and company.
You know, that's one of the things that makes a major league season so interesting is the situation changes from day to day, whether guys get hurt, and Lance Berkman's out of the Astros lineup, and with the question about Oswalt that you talked about, now all of a sudden the Astros, who are well positioned to go into St. Louis and play an important series, now find that they're missing some pretty valuable weapons, and the Cubs are looking at that going, that's exactly what we like to see.
And Bob and I, we talk all the time about it's not who you play, it's when you play. Fouled back. Let's go back to yesterday.
Surprise for everybody here at the ballpark. The wind was blowing in from right field at the time, and Blanco hit a line drive off the screen on the foul pole down the right field line.
Yeah, that wind's turned around today. I know when I got to the ballpark earlier today, it was blowing directly out to left center. And as a pitcher, I look at that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, every inning during the game as a pitcher, your eyes just kind of sneak up there. You don't ever want to make it obvious. You don't want anyone to think that that's in your head. But believe me, you know which way it's going. And right now, if I was on the mound, I would like what I'm seeing on that flagpole.
2-2 to Blanco. Fukudome's on deck. And then Ryan Theriot. Just missed. Bob, give me the scouting report on 19-year veteran right-hander Scott Sanderson.
Well, for me, I wasn't the greatest breaking ball hitter in the world. And Scott Sanderson had a couple of really good breaking balls. The big slow over the top curve and the little hard slider. I felt like I could hit his fastball if he would ever throw me one.
You knew you wanted one. Base hit for Blanco.
I heard you guys talking earlier in the game about Derek Lee facing Russ Ortiz, and you're saying, how there's those hitters that just can't hit a certain pitcher. As I was listening to that, I was thinking, I wondered where those guys were when I was pitching. I wish there were a few more of those around. I couldn't find them.
You didn't have any 3 for 35s against particular batters? I'm sure you had a couple in there somewhere.
There were some, but I think they were hiding when I was pitching. I don't know. But the funny thing is about pitching, when you know that a guy doesn't like a breaking ball, you don't even have to throw that many of them because it's in his head, and he's looking for it and he's sitting on it because he doesn't think he can hit it, and then he gets mad when he gets himself out on a fastball that he wasn't quite ready for. And that's the chess game of pitching that I think I enjoyed so much. And Bob, as a catcher, I mean, that had to be part of the game that you loved as well.
The funnest part, yeah. If you had a guy on the mound that could command 3 or 4 different pitches, and you knew the strength and weaknesses of the opposing lineup, that was as fun as it gets. Trying to set up the hitter and get to that out pitch.
Yeah, and I think you've hit on what pitching's all about. When you get a guy that can throw more than one pitch where he wants to, now you give the catcher something to work with.
That kicks away from Quintero, and Blanco able to get to second pretty easily on a wild pitch. Scott, your career essentially paralleled Alan Trammell's in terms of the time frame. Both you guys retired right before interleague play. Do you wish you had participated in interleague play, or you kind of feel good that you kind of played the way it had always been played prior to 1997?
Well, I tell you, I enjoyed getting to battle Tram when I went over to the American League. You know what? It's just, look, when the only interleague that we got was spring training, and sometimes right at the end of spring training, right before there'd be, like out in Los Angeles, you have the Freeway Series, or in New York, the Mets against the Yankees. those kind of things. But it really wasn't a thought for us because it wasn't part of the game. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had while I was playing, and just so many good memories of this game.
You had 2 career appearances in interleague play. Oh, that is crushed by Fukudome. Did he get enough? Well, he got enough for an extra base hit. How about a triple as Blanco will score, and Kosuke is a home run shy of the cycle. What a day he's had.
Two innings ago, that ball would have been in the bleachers, no doubt.
Yep, you're right. I think Kosuke's comfortable in that leadoff spot. That's his 5th at bat. He's reached base all 5 times. A loud triple to the gap in right center field. One of the hardest hit balls in the game today.
So here's Terrio, still no outs, and 11-3. I was just going to say, 2 interleague games for you in your career. They were in the World Series.
Yeah,
Olsen against Lou Pinella's Reds.
Those are good memories. Yeah, Lou's team kind of kicked us there in that World Series. We thought we had the better team.
Fukudome is going to score as Terrio grounds out, but knocks in his 4th run. 8 RBIs, the top of the lineup. Yeah, that was an upset, no doubt about it. Well, when you get to that point, though, you just never know, right? You get in the World Series, and it doesn't matter who's favored. It comes down to who can win 4 first.
We probably had one of the best hitting offenses ever in the game of baseball, and Jose Rio made us look like we were a bunch of little leaguers. I mean, I think in 2 games that he pitched, we got a total combined hits in the 2 games, I think, of either 8 or 9 hits. And he was just on fire. We could not touch him.
Michael Hoffpower batting for Derek Lee. Got to ask you about your former teammate, Ricky Henderson. Has to be the greatest leadoff hitter in the history of the game. Do you have any good Ricky stories?
Oh my gosh, there's thousands of Ricky stories. Anyone that has ever played with Ricky has stories. He's a classic. He's a lot of fun. You absolutely hate him when he's on the other team and you're playing against him. There's nothing about him that I liked when I was playing against him. I thought he was a hot dog. I thought he was a showboat. He was everything I didn't like about the game. But then when I was his teammate and he was my left fielder, I thought he was the greatest guy in the world.
Lofted the left. Playable for Lee, 2 outs.
Yeah, it's one of those situations when you are a teammate with a guy and you get to know him and you get to understand what he's all about. It's totally different than what you see out there playing against him. And Ricky, rightfully so, is in the Hall of Fame, and in absolutely no doubt the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. It's like having a cleanup hitter step into the batter's box to start the game.
Well, Bill James, the great baseball statistician, somebody asked him, does Ricky belong in the Hall of Fame? He said if you split him into 2 players, they'd both go to the Hall of Fame because he could break up the game with his legs. He could hit a home run. He could make a defensive play. There wasn't really anything he couldn't do if he put his mind to it on a daily basis.
You know, really the Hall of Fame was created for guys like Ricky Henderson. He did it all. No doubt about it. I love the line he said, I retired too late. If I had retired early, got my 5 years out of the game, then became a Hall of Famer, I could have come back. And I don't doubt that he could have.
He could have.
Scott, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it as always. Welcome back to the ballpark.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always great. Thank you, Scott.
The 2009 Chicago Cubs baseball season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime.
Blanco playing short. Hoffpauir manning first. Mitch Atkins, after making his major league debut, a successful one yesterday with a scoreless ninth, right back out there on much more sleep today. He got up at 5 in the morning yesterday. He was going to pitch. He was going to sleep in. For Iowa, got a call. Hey, you're headed to the big leagues for the first time. Got here in time for the day game and made his major league debut. So he crashed about 10:30 last night.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? Tell him, you know what? I really need to get my rest. Can I be there the day after tomorrow?
You know, in the time I've been following baseball, I've only heard one guy ever say that he preferred to be in the minors than in the majors. And it was this year, Ian Snell, who was struggling with the Pirates, and he basically told them he felt more comfortable pitching at AAA. Fukudome, the catch. And Matt Keita, who was batting for Carlos Lee, making the first out.
It sounded like that relationship between Ian Snell and the Pirates was a little strained at the time anyway. He may have been trying to force their hand and force some kind of a move, which ultimately happened.
Yep. Crushed foul by Blum.
When I played in the Midwest League back in 1977, there was a player for, I believe it was Wisconsin, named Mo Hill.
Soriano catches.
And I believe at the time he had already played 8 or 10 years in the Midwest League. He was in his 30s. I have to try to look that up. But he was a guy that, according to reports, had been offered multiple chances to advance in the organization, but had a home for himself there. He found a place to raise his family, was very comfortable living, and he said, no thanks, I'll just stay here.
One strike to Pence. Base hit to left. Here comes Keppinger for the 4th time. Sack bunt and 2 flyouts. Photographer. Looks like a pro. 0-1. Thanks to Scott Sanderson for spending the bottom of the 7th with us. Still lives in the area, Lake Forest, with his family. Been a player agent. His clients have included Frank Thomas, Josh Beckett, Lance Berkman. 163 career wins for Scott. $41,524 inside Wrigley Field.
I just discovered here, Mo Hill, Elmore Hill played 8 years in Wisconsin and had some awesome years. Won the Triple Crown with 32 homers, 113 RBIs, and a .339 batting average, but did that Midwest League thing for a long time.
Full count.
What I remember about Mo Hill is he used to come to the plate with a toothpick in his mouth every at bat.
UL Washington did that.
Yeah.
Little tapper, and Hoffpower will glove it and step on the bag before Keppinger can get there. Bottom 8. Cubs in great shape to win this.
Time to take a look at today's AM/PM player of the game. What? Kosuke Fukudome hasn't hit a home run yet. He's done everything else in this ball game. 2 walks, a single, a double, a triple. He's driven in 4 runs, scored 2. That is way too much good stuff. Kosuke Fukudome, our AM/PM player of the game.
Well, with interpreter on the right, Hiro Aoyama. Done a really nice job. Milton Bradley swinging and fouling against Doug Brocail. 4th Astro pitcher today. 2nd appearance off the DL in as many days. Gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in the 8th inning Wednesday. Keita playing left. I'm surprised you didn't know this and didn't spring it on us right when we started today. Your good friend Joe West worked his 4,000th major league game today up in Milwaukee. 19th umpire to reach that plateau. Made his debut in 1976. Did you send him a card?
No. I could send him the newest Lennon Bob Band CD, since every time we see him we get one of his new CDs. Country Joe.
Royals acquiring outfielder Josh Anderson from Detroit for cash. No, not Norm Cash. Actual cash. Got him for the first out. The pitch to Soriano is low. What do you make of what the Pirates have done? I think Neil Huntington, their GM, I mean, if you're going to trade veterans, you might as well go all the way. A lot of times teams, they'll trade one or two here or there, and that's happened with the Pirates the last few years. I think Neil Huntington's deciding, look, I'll bring all these young guys in. They're my guys. If it works out, I'll be here for a long time. If it doesn't, I'll probably have to find a new job.
And because of the nature of the deals that the Pirates have entered into, I don't think we're going to see the returns on those trades for at least a few years. You know, give those young players a chance to develop and work together as a unit, either in the minor league levels or at the big league level for that matter, and see what direction the team goes in.
Here's who's gone from last year. I mean, you're talking opening day starters from 2008. Nady, LaRoche, Bay, Sanchez, McLeod, Wilson, just to name a few. Niger Morgan, Jose Bautista, Ronnie Paulino. They're all gone to other teams. And as Huntington said, quote, we don't feel like we've broken up the 27 Yankees. Ball 4, Soriano is on.
Well, that may be the case, but you know, just those names you mentioned and the track record that those guys have in the major leagues, that's a pretty good nucleus of a team right there. Now, the problem was
they didn't win.
They didn't win, and the Pirates couldn't afford to pay them.
And boy, fans don't like to hear this, particularly in small markets. But how often is it starting to lightly rain? How often do you see teams, the so-called also-rans, instead of losing 98, they're competitive enough to lose 88? Well, the difference between 64 and 74 wins really isn't much. You haven't made the playoffs, you're still not good. And it's tough in this day and age to tell fans, look, we're probably not going to be competitive for a couple of years, but over the long haul, that's probably the most prudent move. I was listening to the radio today, and it sounds like Tampa Bay could be close. You know, that window is very small to maybe making deals. They're 7.5 out. They may be more in a selling mode than in an adding mode at some point. It was Peter Gammons today talking on the radio about it.
Well, that's one of the toughest and most important decisions any general manager will make is, are we good enough to compete if we add a piece or two? Are we good enough to compete the way we are? Or should we go ahead and not necessarily back up the truck and completely dismantle the team, but get rid of the players that figure to make a lot of money in the very near future? And as you said, if you don't win with them, well, what's the difference if you don't win without them? You know, it appeared that the Pirates weren't going in the right direction, so I really don't have a problem with it. Now the fans in Pittsburgh may have a problem because this has been a yearly occurrence in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they haven't had a winning season since Barry Bonds was there in 1992. You know, a big market team like the Cubs, after a last place finish in 06, they were able to go out and sign big name, big money free agents. They quickly turned it around and won the division, not only 2 years ago, but last year. You're seeing what's going on in Cleveland. They've broken up that nucleus. Called strike 3, 2 outs. You have to figure Kerry Wood thought when he signed with the Indians he was signing with a contender. They've had a very disappointing year, and they just traded away Cliff Lee. Called strike on Coy Hill. Well, I mentioned it earlier in the series. The Astros, well, they have a few starters who are up there in years, and a couple guys who really struggled in this series. Hampton and Ortiz. Wouldn't be surprised if they get a lot younger in their rotation next year. Off to the ninth. It'll be the closer, Kevin Gregg, in a non-save spot. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports is Mark Brady. Our director is Skip Ellison. Our associate producer, Doug Stanton. The executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Forwall. Thanks as well to our technical director, Roberto Rios, stage manager, Paula Oskrova. In our booth, and our studio coordinator back at WGN, Christina Ballas. Also, kudos to our production intern, Brian Gailey. Did a wonderful job this summer. And we wish Brian the best. Kevin Gregg just getting some work. This is his first appearance since a one-out save, actually back-to-back one-out saves against the Reds, as he worked in every game of that series. 1-2 to Quintero. Kevin Gregg will renew acquaintances with his former team, the Florida Marlins, this weekend down at Land Shark Stadium. Swing and a miss, one out.
Candy Graham.
We'll hear that a few times this weekend. I haven't heard, we'll ask if there's a name. I'm sure naming rights will be for sale for the new park, which will open in 2012. Downtown Miami, retractable roof ballpark. Chris Coast pinch hitting. (12-3) Cubs. Lots of early inning runs on this homestand. They didn't score in the first, but they got 4 in the second, 5 in the third against the starter Russ Ortiz.
Well, the nice thing we've seen recently, Len, from the Cubs offense that we did not see a lot of in the first half, even in those games where the Cubs did score early in the ball game, it seemed like somebody turned the faucet off. The offense just wasn't able to put those tack-on runs on the board and keep the other team down, but that has not been the case in the second half of the season. Even when they erupt early in the ball game, they continue to grind and add on runs later on.
Michael Bourne, outside corner. You know why it rained? Because we're going to Florida. It's like, this is what you have to look forward to this weekend, because it will rain every day there. It's just a matter of when.
I managed for 3.5 years, Len. I don't recall ever taking batting practice on the field in Florida. It rained about that time every day when the visitors would hit, and we may have taken maybe one day of batting practice on the field, but it was always in the cage.
It's foul off the bullpen mound. That's why they had to get a retractable roof.
Looks like we may wish we had one here momentarily.
We're very curious to see how it goes in Minnesota. They will not have a roof on the new park, Target Field, next year. And they didn't have one on the old Met. But the dome has been such a huge home field advantage. I know the White Sox will be glad they're not going to play there anymore after this season. Got it. For the second out. Good heat at 93. Well located.
Kevin Hart has looked sharp here in his outing with a big lead in the ball game. We've talked many times in the past, the closers don't usually like these kinds of situations, but Kevin needed a little bit of work, and his stuff has been very crisp today.
Matsui fouls away to the left. 7-2. Milwaukee did beat Washington to split that series 7-3 the final. Cardinals play later tonight. Trying to sweep the Dodgers. Cubs win. Greg strikes out Kaz Matsui. 3 Ks in the ninth. And what a great homestand. The Cubs went 6-1. The final today, Cubs 12, Astros 3.